I am an Asian mom, you know? Like, it's in me to
Same.
want to, like, tell people to put their sweater on.
Hi, I'm Teresa.
And I'm Emily.
This is No Ordinary Friendship.
We've been best friends for forever. And while life has tried to keep us apart,
We won't let it. Join us as we catch up on pop culture, parenthood, and whatever's on our minds.
we promise a short break from real life, just for a little bit.
We all have our people.
And now you are one of them.
Hi, Emily.
Hello, Teresa.
I'm in Japan.
I know, so cool. Our first international podcast episode.
And I'm drinking my little tea right now.
Looks delicious. Thank you for tuning in, listeners. It's 2024 now that you're listening.
But we are still in 2023, which is why we're traveling. We have some time to travel. I went to Taiwan a couple days earlier to Taiwan. And yeah, I'm in Japan with no kids. I met up with Steven here a couple days and I feel a little glimmer of my 2018 self, honestly.
Aw.
Besides being super sleep deprived, but it's just something about exploring, traveling, not having to worry about the kids over multiple days has been so
Mhm.
refreshing.
Good.
We even have time to do things like get lost. I was totally going to follow Steven's lead and I don't know why. I think I was just so tired. I wasn't going to do any research and he's like, I got this. He did not get it. There's so many different subway lines within Tokyo, but they're operated by different private and public companies. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
So you could buy a 24-hour pass to one, but then if you want to go somewhere that another one runs, then you can't use that pass. So we're constantly getting stuck at the gate being like, why isn't this working? We bought a 24-hour pass. And then we finally figure it out. And once we get on the subway, he was like, oh, this feels like we're on the Amazing Race. I was like, okay, but we'd be in last place. And he's like, yeah, but we get a lot of airtime because we're in last place and we're the couple that always argues.
I love it.
Almost we would not ever even make it onto Amazing Race, but okay. But it's been really
great,
fun.
Though. That sounds like a luxury to... I know getting lost is probably frustrating, but not have kids to add on to that frustration.
It's not even that frustrating because we have no plan. We didn't plan anything. So it's been really nice. We had one dinner yesterday with Steven's cousin that's living in Japan, in Tokyo. But they live... I guess Tokyo's kind of like LA to me now because everything is so far apart. Or it's just such a large metropolitan area. And so we took the subway about an hour. Minus
wow,
the getting lost time. Yeah. And we had to transfer a couple of times too.
Have you been using any of your Japanese skills?
I told Steven's cousin yesterday that I took 4 years of Japanese. She's like, oh. And I was like, but I don't know anything.
I mean, same here. I think I got a Japanese minor.
Did
I
you?
remember now.
In college?
So in college, I took enough, almost could get a Japanese and a Chinese minor, which was such a waste because I feel like neither of my languages is strong. But I can't say anything. I'm like, how did I even manage?
Wait, listeners, if you don't know, Emily's just being modest. In high school, Emily won the Japanese award, at graduation. She was so good at Japanese, and there were these other students in our class that thought they were going to win it, but they did not, and I was so proud of Emily.
They were just more immersed in the Japanese culture. I think they fully embraced it, whereas I, was just a student of the language.
Well, you didn't yeah. Okay.
I didn't love anime and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly think my Japanese was strongest in high school. And for some reason, in college, it deteriorated even though I continued to take classes. So I'm embarrassed to tell anyone that I actually took Japanese.
Okay. So also, it's been very cold here. It's much colder here than it is in Taiwan or in San Francisco. And I don't know why, but Steven just wears the same thing all the time. He wears the same thing in 70-degree weather and he wears the same thing in 40-degree weather. He has this thin Patagonia jacket on, a t-shirt underneath it, and I don't know why that triggers me so much. No shorts. But the only reason he didn't wear shorts is he was like, I don't want people looking at me. He cared more about what other people thought about him than his actual own warmth.
But he doesn't feel cold?
he says he doesn't, but I think he does. So I'm very confused. And then I just try to hold it in and not argue anymore. But I am an Asian mom, you know, like it's in me to want to like tell people to put their sweater on.
You know what's funny though? So Victor always kind of like criticizes the way I put jackets on the girls.
Why?
Because like, I don't know why, when I put on my jacket, unless it's like freezing temperatures, which here it usually isn't.
Yeah.
I don't like zip or button my jacket. And I don't always do it for the girls, and he always does. So like yesterday we were out, I think at the farmer's market, he was like, you can tell who put on Charlie's jacket versus Cassie's jacket because one of them was zipped and one wasn't.
I always zip it up too because they're so like, it falls off, or, you know, they're just kind of wild and, I don't know, flailing around. But interesting. That's true. You seem like a zipper up type of mom, Emily.
I like to keep you guessing.
Okay, one more thing I want to call out about Japan is the fashion. So every girl here has an oversized coat, which reminded me of you. And how when you said that you bought one from Mango, it looked like you're playing dress up. I am committed. The yen is weak. The dollar is strong. I want to buy an oversized coat. It looks so good. But how come when I try it on, it looks like I'm playing dress up too?
And you're tall.
And
I'm taller than like most of the Japanese girls.
And I default towards a medium size. And like there are ones where I tried on an extra small and I was like, why does it still look like this? Like I get that's the style, but how come it looks fine on everyone else? Or actually fantastic on everyone else. But on me, it just looks like, I don't know.
I'm surprised. Yeah, I thought it would fit you better. Maybe you just have to embrace the look, like get comfortable with it, you know? Because like when you see it on someone else, you don't know how they look in a normal sized jacket, but you have like a picture in your head. And same with me, like how it's supposed to look. And then you're like, oh, this is like 2x bigger, but you just have to like embrace it.
You know, little kids that wear, or little girls actually, that wear like these princess dresses over their like sloppy play clothes. Yeah, that's what I feel like. Like this outfit does not go with this nice oversized coat. I don't even want to buy an expensive one. I just want to buy one to look somewhat put together.
Do it. I support you.
Thank you.
But also, you know, I sent you that screenshot of Paige wearing an oversized coat.
Yeah.
I do think like it did look a little bit big on her, but then it also looked good. So maybe that's just the look that we have to get behind.
Embrace, right? Yeah, like maybe don't wear with my Lululemon leggings. That could make a difference.
What else would we wear them with?
Okay. But yeah, tell me more about you. What's going on?
Definitely nothing as exciting because you're traveling and living your nice kid-free life. I'm about to embark on Wednesday on my very kid-full, like 2 weeks of kids with no school. So I've been trying to savor every peaceful moment I have today and tomorrow.
Like this podcast.
Yes. I wanted to tell you, I'm pretty sure I got swindled at a gas station. So this was the night that I was going to eat dinner at our friend Evelyn's house. I went to get gas before I went up to the city. And this girl comes up. And she's been like going to every car. She's wearing this like printed out sign, and she says she's fundraising for her high school. Okay. And she's part of some program, and they're raising money to go on a college tour to UCLA. And I was like a little suspicious, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, this poor girl, like regardless of what, even if she's not in high school and she's trying to make money, like what is $10
she's out there, you know,
me?
she's trying. Yeah.
And it was cold that night. And I asked her like, oh, where's your high school? She's like, it's in Hayward. I was like, oh, and I just like asked her a couple more questions, and she's just nice, but definitely had an accent. Also, like looking back, I'm like, did she look high school age? I'm not sure.
I can't tell anymore.
My age.
Maybe you could go try. I mean, you're not going to. I bet you could pass for a high schooler depending on the clothes that you wear.
Yeah. Anyway, I gave her $10, and I even Venmo'd because I didn't have any cash on me. And then when I got home, Victor was like, yeah, you definitely got played. Like, I was like, but she had a sign. And he was like, that doesn't mean anything. Right. And then the other weird thing is like, she asked me to put her name in the Venmo. And I assumed like, okay, so she gets credit for it or whatever. But then when I looked at the Venmo history, there was her name from like April 2022 on one of the transactions. So then I'm like, would she be doing this 2 years in a row, or is this like some ongoing scam? And anyway, I don't know.
Wait, so she was raising money for like her school or her...
Yeah, she said for her school so that they could go on like a campus tour, a college tour.
Oh, I mean, it's probably a scam, Emily. Like the fact that they're doing it at a gas station.
Yeah, yeah. I was scammed big time.
That was nice of you, though. What was the handle?
The handle of the
Venmo? Mm-hmm. Was it her name or was it?
Like, no, it was like team leader, some number or something.
Oh,
so then I was like, oh, that kind of sounds like a school thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so please don't come after me, scammers.
Because Emily will pay up.
Yeah. And then the other more exciting update I have for you is I went and got another facial today, which I think you can see. Because it was not as no downtime as the last time.
Because you're glowing.
I wasn't fully prepared also for the pain of it. So I went back to Skin Laundry, which I told you last time I got a membership. Yeah. Today I got something called the Power Duo. And for those interested, it's a combination of 2 treatments. It's similar to the one I got last time, which is just like the thing that they said feels like hot puffs of air. That one was fine this time. And that one doesn't cause that much redness. Mm-hmm. But then they do a second thing, which is called thermofractional facial.
Oh.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but it actually, I think, is not lasers. But it feels like they're going over your face with like a tiny staple gun or something. It kind of sounds like it too. It's like click, click, click. And then it just like feels like something poking you.
Did it feel like
pretty painful?
Did it feel like needles?
Kind of, yeah. But it's not microneedling. I don't actually know what the device looks like, but that's what it felt like. And then it definitely has downtime because I've been red since this morning. And then over the course, it's kind of maybe more like what you did because over the course of like the next 5 days, it's supposed to, the redness should subside, but then it's going to kind of like have tiny scabs or like dots.
Okay, so it like targeted certain brown spots or dark spots. She did the whole
face, and then she did some targeted. But yeah, she said this one you'll see results much more dramatically than the other one because it's targeting the outer layer versus the other one was targeting like the dermis, which is the under layer.
Got it.
So I'll let you know if I think it's worth the pain because I did not schedule another one of these in a month because I was like, I'm not ready for this pain.
Wait, did it also take 10 minutes like the last one?
It took probably like 25 minutes total. So it's not super long, but it feels like when is this gonna end? Because it's just like
painful,
not comfortable. Yeah.
Interesting. Wait, has it been a month already since your first one?
No. So the other one that I did only has 10 days of downtime.
Okay.
But then the one that I did today, if I wanted to do it again, you have to wait 28 days.
Look at you getting your money's worth.
Trying.
So how many different combinations of facial types can you get?
So the one that I did last time, you can get every 10 days. The one that I did today is like the Power Duo. I think you can also do one which is called, they're like, I don't know what it's called, but it's like the one I did last time, but at the strongest level of laser. Mm-hmm. So that one you can also only do 28 days.
Mm-hmm.
I think those might be like the 3 different ones.
Interesting.
But I'm not sure. Yeah.
How exciting. I can't wait to hear more. I also went to one, it's been such a crazy time in Asia with like family and everything. Because I told you I wanted to do a laser facial here.
Yeah.
We do a consultation first and all that. And I've only been to one so far. But the funny thing is I went with my dad to the consultation.
Yay.
And he has a lot of, I mean, you just walk in. You don't even have to make an appointment or anything.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, you can too, but like they just happened to have time and we had very minimal time. And so they like shuffled us into this little room. It was, very nice. And they sat us down. She's like, oh, who is interested? I was like, oh, me. And I asked her a ton of questions and then she left to go get some pricing list. My dad was like, she kept looking at me the whole time because she knows I need it more.
Wait, but he wasn't going to do it with you?
Well, he was acting like he was not interested, but I knew it like inside he was interested. So I think I want to talk to like one more in Taipei that has really good reviews, really close to my parents' house too. So we'll see. I think he'll probably get whatever I get though.
Cool. I'm excited. I bet it's so
We'll
much cheaper
see.
too.
It's so much cheaper. Like, I don't know, like 10%. I mean, like 90% cheaper.
Wow. Okay. Also, last thing, the nurse who did my treatment today, I really liked her because she was like talking a lot. So I felt like it distracted me more. But
Mhm.
her skin looked so good. I don't even know if she had makeup, but it didn't look like she had thick makeup
Yeah.
on. Her skin was like smooth and like flawless. She told me she just turned 30, so she's younger than us. But
Okay.
still, she was like, yeah, I've been into like
Skincare.
lasers since I was in like nursing school. And
How do
I
people
even
know
do,
about this?
I don't know. And she's like, and I also do preventative Botox. So like her forehead is like super
Ah,
smooth. And
yeah.
then she was like, I also like am very careful about not going out in the sun. Like I slather on SPF if I'm going to be in the sun. So she just like has her priorities for her skin like really
Right.
you
At a
know,
young age,
there.
right?
Yeah.
That's another thing about Japan. People's skin or the women's skin are so good. Like it really looks like porcelain for a lot of these women. Not everybody, of
Wow.
course, but a lot of girls.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that all of their hair is shiny and healthy. And I just
Ask
don't
them for their tips.
I don't know any Japanese. But I'm super amazed by that because is it the water? Like it's super dry and cold
Maybe
here too.
diet. Because,
Oh,
you know,
could be
Japanese,
diet.
like, in general, they have, like, long lives. Maybe there's
Yeah.
stuff that's, like, anti-aging, youthful
I mean,
or
they walk a
something.
million steps in that subway. Like
Ooh.
yesterday, I was like, we
Green
live in.
tea?
Mhm.
Lots of green tea.
I am drinking green tea right now. I'm on my way, Emily. But yesterday, because we're getting lost so much and we're doing so much traveling, I was like, we live in the subway now. Like this is our new like third place. Although we don't
Bringing
meet
it full
anyone here.
circle.
Okay, let's move on to pop culture. You
Okay.
have 2024 Year of the
yeah.
Dragon.
This can be super fast, but obviously now that, you know, Christmas and New Year's is behind us, the next big holiday is Lunar New Year.
Mhm.
And it's the Year of the Dragon coming up. Of course, I just got served one TikTok, so I'm going to act all like educated. But there was like this feng shui person, and she was like, the Year of the Dragon is coming up. In order to welcome luck and prosperity, you need to incorporate the color emerald green into your
Ooh.
life. And so
Okay.
I just wanted to share that with you and with our listeners because, you know, we're all about manifesting. So I'm going to try to find something emerald green to bring into my house.
How?
She was like, it can be
How-
like a candle or,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
whatever. Just something with that emerald green color. Or maybe you can like wear emerald green.
Okay.
But yeah,
Good.
just
Good
something
pro
to keep in
tip.
mind.
The only thing I could think of was jewelry.
That's true. I don't have any actual emerald jewelry.
I don't know if I do. I don't think I have an emerald green. I need to bring something to my house.
Yes.
We need to have
let's
a
do it.
prosperous 2024. I thought you were going to say something related to like all the people trying to make babies right now so they have a kid in the Year of the
Oh.
Dragon.
I didn't know about that. Is that a thing?
I think so because Year of the Dragon is like the most, I don't know what the right word is, like
Auspicious?
prestigious. Yeah, prestigious and
Oh.
auspicious animal out there for the zodiac.
Interesting.
My brother's a dragon, actually.
Oh, congratulations to your parents.
Yeah. Okay, I'll let them know.
Okay, let's move to
Okay.
parenthood.
One thing that's been really hard about this trip is I was bamboozled last year. So last year, our jet
Mhm.
lag synced up. It wasn't great, but we were sleeping and awake at the same time. This
Oh.
year, he's on a completely different schedule than me. Like when I'm awake, he's awake. When he's sleeping, I'm still awake. So I'm just like really tired
Oh,
all the time. So for
no.
a couple days, I was only going off of like a couple hours of sleep every single night. The worst part is, Emily, and this has nothing to do with what I wrote down, but like my brother was also working New York hours in Taiwan. And so
Oh.
he was also just getting a couple hours of sleep because of like other obligations that he had to be out for. My dad is still working and my parents have been fighting a couple of mosquitoes in their rooms, but they're not getting a lot of sleep. So the only person getting a lot of sleep with a lot of energy is Tyler, which is like terrible because he's like the least independent one of us.
Yeah.
But anyways, so in the morning, I was just like, let's just turn on the TV, Tyler. I know you're awake. Let's just turn on the TV. But I really miss cable because my parents have cable. They have like a million channels. 10 of them are movie channels, like American movie channels. We channel surf through like Batman, Back to the Future, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, like just stuff that you wouldn't normally search for and watch anymore, but you kind of know them as some kind of classic. But we stumbled upon Homeward Bound. Do you remember that movie?
Of course.
Yeah,
with the animals.
With the 2 dogs and the cat. And Tyler doesn't watch any movies. And it's like that movie spoke to him. And we watched for probably like 20 minutes at the end when they were super duper sad, but then they were reunited. And he asked a bunch of questions. And I was like, this is so sweet. I'm so glad that he found this movie. And now like has like more of an understanding of animals as pets and like affinity towards them. And
that's so random because I think I had that movie or something. I watched it so much growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Like you had the VHS?
Chance is the dog, and he gets like
porcupine,
like needles stuck in his face.
And
I always felt so bad for him. And Shadow is the golden retriever who's like the old wise guy.
Yeah.
And is the cast name like Sassy or something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I can't believe you remember their names, Emily. That's impressive.
I watched it a lot. Yeah.
They just don't make movies like that anymore.
They don't. You just reminded me. I feel like I should introduce that to my kids.
Yeah. I don't
know where I can watch it, though.
Yeah. Bust out your old VHS. Your mom might still have it. Your mom probably still has a VHS player, too.
Probably, yeah.
But that's a good one. Listeners, if you want like a very wholesome movie for your kids, that's actually entertaining for adults, too.
I liked it. Okay, so I have a bad mom moment to share with you, and I'm sure other parents have done it, but obviously the girls come home with like a lot of art from school, and you can't keep it all. So I usually will pick like a couple to keep for them, and they each have a little plastic box. But the other day, I recycled a few, and I meant to take out the recycling before they came home, but I forgot. And just my luck, that day Cassie decides to like rummage through the recycling bag just because there's like new boxes she saw in it. And then Charlie was like, "Ah, this is our art. Who would do such a thing?"
What?
And in my head, I was like, does she not know that obviously it was me? Like, I'm the only one who was home. Is she giving me like a way out? So I was just like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, how did those get in there? And we took them out. And now I'm like scared to recycle anything for a while and get caught again.
It is terrible how kids rummage through the trash and find things.
Yeah.
But I like how dramatic she was. Who would do such a thing?
Yes, so dramatic.
You should be like, Waffle, you were home too.
But yeah, that was my bad mom moment. I need to be more sneaky about that.
That reminded me of how I said last week, my mom, she found something that I threw away and she fished it out. I was like, who did this? Who did this?
Now the tables have turned.
Yeah. Tyler will go throw something away and then notice what's in the trash can, and it'll be like a snack or treat that Steven bought, and he'll fish it out and be like, who ate this? Who ate this? So yeah, gotta hide it.
Let's move to
My mom has essentially like a whole room dedicated to gifts that she probably plans to regift. Because in Taiwan, they have really beautiful packaging, like the boxes, the bags that come with it, all these expensive teas and treats and stuff that doesn't really go bad, but that they look beautiful. But you're not going to eat it all. And it's such a culture of like give, or like being polite. And so you're giving gifts.
Yeah, you have to bring something.
Yeah. And you're not always going to consume. And it's that time of year where everybody's getting together with everybody and somebody's chinka.
Yeah.
So I just think it's ridiculous. But my brother was like, just let it go because it's actually good, right? It's sustainable this way. Like they're not eating everything, and it's
what else could she do, right?
And everybody else probably has a room for regifting gifts too. She's probably gonna get mad at me for saying this.
Yeah, you're letting her secret out, but she's gonna have to keep track to make sure she doesn't accidentally like regift to the original gifter.
It's true, but I think the original gifter probably forgets as well. So,
oh, thank you.
Yeah. How did you know I love this? I do feel like it's so rare that they bought it. I don't know. It's been like we would hand stuff to my grandma to give to my other grandma. And I guess everybody's happy this way. It's the gesture that counts.
My mom definitely used to regift. I remember. And I mean, it's kind of smart because now that it's like Christmas season and like presents are coming in for the girls, I'm like, there is just too much, right?
Yeah.
Like we have too many toys, it's too much clutter. But my mom definitely used to, when I had like a birthday party, I wouldn't get to keep all of my gifts. She would let me pick some of them, and then the rest she would save to gift
For your
to
other
other
kids.
people. Yeah. And I think it like made me kind of sad, but now that I'm a mom, I get it. And I'm like, I kind of want to do it too, but
I kind of
I don't
commend your mom for doing that, especially knowing her tendencies to like keep things. So it was good.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about how like I must have not had like too many toys growing up because it just didn't seem as cluttered at my house, you know?
Crazy.
Because we didn't have a separate playroom either. So I'm like, where was the stuff? Like it was just in my room probably. And I didn't have a huge room. So
I watched this TikTok yesterday that was like POV, you're from an immigrant household. And did you see that one? It was essentially little clips of a cluttered house. You have all your different soy sauce packages / like medicine all together. You have a bunch of red calendars that are free from the supermarket or the bank. And then there's like some Chinese food, but over like the music that was playing, a sense of nostalgia, and that is home. That's a feeling of home. And I was like, all right, I should stop trying to declutter everything in my mom's life and just let it be, right? Because like, yeah, let her live. Because in the comment section, people are like, this is what home is to me. Like, this is how I feel. Like, it wouldn't be home if my home was not like this.
Yeah.
But also, like, you don't need all that junk.
Yeah. It's a fine balance. And I'm definitely still looking for it as I swim through my cluttered house.
Well, going to the Japanese house yesterday, I was like, wow, you guys live like for their holiday decorations. It was one little plate that has Christmas trees on it. And then they had like a really mini Christmas tree and outside one string of lights. And it was so festive, but it wasn't overdoing it like in America, all the wreaths, the nutcracker, the gnomes.
Yes, I think we can learn a lot from other countries and how they live. Like, don't like Swedish or
Scandinavian.
Scandinavian living is very minimalist. Like, let's try to get there.
Yeah, I want to. I think I'm just so influenced by the people around me, us.
Yeah, we can't help it.
Yeah.
Okay. I also wanted to talk to you about fast fashion versus slow fashion because I feel like that's been popping up for me a lot on TikTok. And I feel so overwhelmed. Like, it's another example of like how it's really hard to do right or be good, I guess, in today's society. Because I'm like, okay, I don't want to be supporting fast fashion, but I actually don't really know what's slow fashion.
Yeah, what is slow fashion?
So I guess slow fashion is like they take the time to create clothing in a more sustainable fashion, like using more sustainable materials or processes. And I don't really know, like people have mentioned Reformation because I think they use a lot of recycled material as a brand that is supposedly slow fashion. But then there are other like TikToks that say even brands like Madewell are now fast fashion or like churning out so much stuff. And I'm just like, honestly, I know like there's probably differences in the way the product is made, but part of it is also how we consume the end product, right?
Right.
Because buying anything new is technically bad for the environment, which is like what Patagonia always talks about.
Yeah.
And like we're all going to be guilty of that as long as we're buying new things.
Agreed.
But if we try to use them for longer and not cycle through like fashion trends, isn't that one way of still kind of like doing better?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's where I'm leaning because I don't know how to navigate the like slow fashion, fast fashion world of like, how do I decide or understand who truly is slow fashion?
It's a lot of admin. Like you have to do a lot of your own research. And I feel the same way about food too. Like there's so much, like there should be better parameters and policies in place on how we become more sustainable as a society globally.
Yeah.
Because
I
like
agree.
we could stop making clothes now and there's more than enough to like everyone to have.
Yeah.
Did you know that in Japan they have a really big secondhand like vintage clothing market?
Maybe it's because you're in Japan. I feel like I saw a TikTok about like come with me to the biggest like thrift store in Japan or something, and then they walked through. The girl talked about all these things that she bought. And she's like, of course, I went to the luxury goods section and there's like really good deals, but that's all I know.
Yeah, I didn't know that because I think Hannah on Giggly Squad talked about thrifting and
Hmm.
maybe that came up. I don't know. I just heard about it and oh yeah, maybe you got it because I searched for it on TikTok. And I didn't know this, but yesterday someone told me like this entire street was dedicated to it. Like this is just one of like many, many streets throughout Tokyo. And because in
Hmm.
Japan, people take good care of their clothing or their goods, like a lot of the secondhand stuff, it's not going to look like it's from Goodwill. It actually
Hmm.
looks quite new and they curate it. And I was like, how did they get so much clothing? And I heard that they just buy it back. And I think that's
Oh.
relatively more sustainable, but we're still buying a lot of new
that's a great
stuff.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Secondhand is good. Buy nothing group, especially for the girls since they like grow out of stuff so quickly. Like I actually keep my clothes for a long time and I'm like still wearing stuff from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But the girls can't. So as much as I can, I do try to get stuff like I'm lucky too. Like friends have passed down stuff that
Right.
their girls have outgrown, or I get stuff from the Buy Nothing group.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Kids-
tough.
It is tough, especially because fast fashion, like they're not made to last. And so
Right.
you have to dispose of them at some point too.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's the problem with today. I think all clothes, like it's just not made as well.
And
Or not even just clothes, other stuff
Yeah.
too.
and slow fashion, I feel like it's just more expensive too. So
Yeah.
it really reminds me of, it draws a lot of parallels to food. Like the junk food is cheaper than the healthy food sometimes.
Totally. Well,
that's a downer.
why am I always bringing up downer things?
No, it's good. It makes me more conscious of things like
We're
that.
just trying to
too.
be better people, which isn't always like a
It's not easy.
journey. Yeah. So,
But at least we're aware.
yes.
Yeah.
And we're in
steps.
it together.
Do you want to go through the last one or?
No, it's okay. I can save it for next time. But thank you for talking to me while you're in Japan.
I was so looking forward to this. I was just praying that the Wi-Fi would be good at this hotel.
It's been great. Yeah. I feel like you're just next door to me.
All right. Well, it's nice chatting with you. I'll
You
see you next
too.
week.
Okay.
Bye.